stupid woods.
But
Anyway,
Nice.
that's enough of that. All right, let's get this show on the road, right? Acting clerk, are we prepared?
We are.
Thank you. All right, welcome, everyone, to this evening's Suamico Village Board meeting for Monday, November 20th, 2023. The time is 6 p.m. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Just as a reminder, anyone wishing to speak, please speak directly into the microphone, provide your name and address, and let us know what's on your mind when that time comes. Let's see, I need a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
Motion to approve. Okay. Second.
I have a motion from trustee Rodden to approve the evening's agenda and a second from trustee, what was your name again? Eckert? Let's stand and
new.
say the pledge of, oh, wait.
We should-
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Let's say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
What's my name? I mean, you know, I'm not new.
I'm just kidding. I don't even remember my own name half the time. Yeah. All right. Item number 5, public appearances. Anyone at this time wishing to come forward to speak to an item that is not on the agenda, please come forward, provide your name, your address, and let us know what's on your mind. Anyone? No one. All right, moving on. Item number 6, consent agenda. Consent agenda this evening consists of the previous minutes of the village board meeting, November 6, 2023, and November 13th, 2023 budget hearing. The B, October 2023 municipal court report. Item C, October 2023 finance reports. Item D, village clerk memo regarding update of future election equipment needs. And item C, October 2023 recreation report. Are there any questions or discussion on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve by trustee Eckert. We have a second from trustee Rodden. Any other further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Administrative items, 7A, ordinance 2023-13 nepotism policy, second reading. Administrator Kaker, if you would.
Thank you. So this is the second reading of ordinance 2023-13, and this is a policy that would merge the village's handbook policy with the village code and create just one occurrence of this policy, which would show up in our municipal code. My recommendation would be to, if approved, to then also make a motion to strike section 5.8 from the Village of Suamico's personnel policy. I did make that one change from the first reading, changing the word "and" to the word "or," so it reads, relatives of elected officials or the village administrator shall not be hired into a full or part-time position in any village department. Happy to answer any questions from the board.
Are there any questions for Administrator Kaker on this item?
Nope, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-13, an ordinance modifying chapter 2.09, parent 6, parent B5, as presented.
Did you need a motion prior to, were there two motions that you needed?
I would suggest two separate motions. So the first one is.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from trustee Rodden to approve ordinance 2023-13 as stated, and we have a second from trustee Schneider. Any further question or discussions on this item?
I'm just going to say I'm going to be voting against this change. I do believe that what we're doing here is we're not affording a proper due process to a person who might want a job just simply because they're related to an official. We have ethics policies in place. The state has ethics policies about a board member or a staff member providing any undue influence or whatever for a person to be hired who's a relative. So this actually creates a situation where we are saying that simply because of who you are, you cannot work in Suamico. And so that's why I'm going to vote against this.
Okay.
Roll call.
Yep, roll call.
Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
Trustee Schneider.
Aye.
Trustee Romas.
Nay.
Trustee Rodden.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1.
All right.
I'll make a motion to strike section 5.8 from the village code, or, I'm sorry, 5.8 from the Village of Suamico's personnel file, or personnel policy as presented.
Second.
So we have a motion on the floor to strike section 5.8 from the Village of Suamico's personnel policy from trustee Rodden and a second by trustee Schneider. Any other further discussion or comments on this? Do we need a roll call on this as well?
No.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Item 7B, preparation for the joint meeting of the Suamico Public Works Utility Committee, the Suamico Planning Zoning Committee, and the Suamico Village Board. Administrator Kager.
Thank you. So as you're aware, the village board has requested a joint meeting with the Public Works and Utility Commission as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission to discuss a couple of land use subjects. One, my understanding is that the discussion is going to revolve around the water and sewer service area. I've outlined a draft memo that would go to those three bodies. I am open for feedback as to whether or not this makes sense or if there's additional topics that you'd like to add. And I also included several maps that will help facilitate any discussion. And again, if there's additional information that the village board wants to see presented by staff, now would be a great time to bring that up.
There's a sewer needs study that we're in the process of getting. Shouldn't that have something to do with this, and this may be too soon then?
I think they can both happen simultaneously. I don't know that one has to be before the other. This is, my understanding is that this is sort of to get a feel from other committees on where they believe water and sewer should or shouldn't extend in the future, and some other things like how do you keep the cost of sewer and water down. The sewer impact fee study is going to get more into the nuts and bolts of our sewer infrastructure. So talking about what's the lifespan of the existing system. And I don't know that those committees, at least at this point, need to get too far into the weeds for
Okay,
that.
but I mean, it does have something to do with where it's going.
It's definitely related.
But, okay.
Anyone else? I appreciate the maps.
Yeah, the maps have been, I looked through them,
Very helpful.
looked through them the other day and, yeah, perfect.
So what I envision is we will, as staff, kick off this discussion by just doing a high-level overview of the maps included, and just letting you know what they are, what they represent, and then really handing this back to the board to facilitate the conversation. Is that your expectations as well?
I mean, I think that was the intention, at least as it came, I'm not going to speak for Public Works, but from planning and zoning, I mean, I think that was the intention, was to understand where do we currently have, sewer and water? Where are we planning on having a sewer and water? Are those areas related? Do we need to revise this somehow? And start looking at things that make more sense, right? I mean, and we can have that discussion in that meeting. Because I think what these maps show is that what we had thought was going to be sewer and water at one time is probably not going to be sewer and water now with changes to Highway 41. And our plan is very dated.
It is very dated, and I think that's the reason for this meeting is to have joint consensus.
Trustee
Because there's a lot of knowledge on that board, on that Public Works board.
Maybe Trustee Eckert, you can add to that.
Well, I think we're listening to the committees, is what we're doing.
I meant as a member of that
I
committee,
mean,
don't know.
as, it's more advantageous to the water and sewer if there are users. So, I don't know. I guess we see what they say. It wasn't my idea to call this, so.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, I guess we're okay on that one then.
So I'll get this information out to those committees as well as to the board, a final copy either tomorrow or Wednesday. So you guys have a couple of weeks to look it over before the meeting on December 4th.
The 4th, right? 4th?
Correct.
4th.
Okay. All right. We are on to item number 8, which is discussion on future agenda items. Anyone have any future agenda items they wish to get on the map, get on the board?
I do not.
None? If there are no further discussion on future agenda items, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We got the motion from trustee Romas to adjourn this evening's meeting and a second from trustee Schneider. Any other further comments or questions, discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. This meeting is adjourned.